Hey, what's up guys, and hey Barbies and Kens. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Gab, and today for you guys, I thought I did something like this, but I think I just have more videos that are similar to this on my second channel, Gabby Vlogs. Right now we're doing Barbies over there. If you haven't checked it out, you should. But today this video is going to be mostly about my chronic illness and kind of on a day-to-day what I do, what is expected of it, and so forth. So if you guys don't know anything about chronic illnesses or fibromyalgia, keep watching. But if you do, and this is your life already, I'm sorry. You probably feel my pain, and keep watching to see if we have any similarities. So I thought the easiest way to do this would be kind of like explaining my bad day, my good day, and my mild day that I have, because usually when I wake up, I don't know what kind of day it's gonna be. I kind of can foreshadow and know, only because of what I did the day before. Was I doing a lot of energy or doing laundry, something that just kills me and takes a lot out of me? Because if you didn't know, fibromyalgia has to do with your muscles and nerves and how they react and overreact. And in my body, I have a lot of inflammation, which is just swelling that's internal, and it's painful. The main things that I suffer with on a day-to-day would be having my fibromyalgia. I have a blood clotting disorder, but that's kind of just things that I need to do for myself, so I'm okay and it doesn't act out. And I have something called intercystitis bladder syndrome, which I made a video about. Oh my god. My voice just decided to cut itself out. Okay, I'm back. I have something called intercystitis bladder syndrome, which I've made a video about as well if you want to learn more about that. It just has to do with inflammation in your bladder and painful peeing, basically. So let's start with a good day for me. So a good day would be waking up and having not a significant or crazy amount of pain, not having tingling or numbness too badly. I mean, I get it, but not too badly in my legs and stuff, and it's manageable. For having fibromyalgia, I take medical marijuana. I also take it for a lot of other stuff. I have IBS-D, extremely bad. That's why a lot of people online are always questioning my weight or asking why I'm so skinny, and that's because of that. So I do things to try to help that so my weight doesn't go down, which I take something for migraines to try to help not deal with having the IBS-D as much, because it constipates you. And then I take a pill for the intercystitis bladder syndrome, because without that pill, life is just unbearable, and I can't even focus on anything because the pain is that bad for me. So that pill really does help me with that. And having medical marijuana, a lot of people don't know this, it helps with inflammation very, very well. At least in my case, and I know some other patients' cases. On a good day, normally the ending of my day is I'm so exhausted, I'm tired by that point, because I get these weird bursts of energy too on a good day, where I'm okay, well, I feel decent, and I can do more than normal. I can film lots of TikToks, or maybe make a second YouTube video, or sit down and do a live stream, or paint for a while in the same position, just hunched over. It's just all in all a really good day for me. With dealing with nerve pain 24/7, because it never really does go away, it just jumps from different places in my body, I think I've learned, and this is something I think patients really can do themselves, to kind of micromanage the pain in my head. The pain that I have right now is just I'm used to it, unfortunately, and it doesn't go away. So in the beginning, my body kind of had to learn to just deal with that pain. My brain kind of had to train itself to be okay, well, this is now normal. Don't freak out when it happens, because right now I'm having unbearable knee pain, but it's to the point where it's just the same knee pain I've always had. You know what I mean? It's, you kind of numb yourself out to it in a sense. It's really odd, but it's a thing. I noticed too on my good days, it's normally in the summer. I mean, I have some in the winter, but in the summer when it's warm out, my body responds really well to warm. Not in the beginning of moving into it though. Change of seasons, awful. I get a really bad flare. I remember when we were moving from like spring into summer. I had such a bad freaking flare for over 2 weeks. It was unbearable. So it really just depends, like my muscles and my nerves overreact to weather, to temperature changes. It's quite odd. I know some people have moved to different parts of the equator and had less or more pain as well, which is like fascinating and just crazy how complex our bodies really are. So let's move on to a mild day, which is kind of just like, I don't know, kind of like in the middle of a good day and a bad day. It's just like centered there, because when I have a mild day, it's kind of just dealing with everything that I normally deal with on like an everyday spectrum. And I know like my limits, like if I'm doing laundry that day, I shouldn't go home and put it all away because the next day I will be down for the count. Like it's really weird how my body reacts to different situations and things, but like I've known by now, for having this for almost 4 years in March of 2021, how to like learn to adapt to do different things. And as always, if you didn't know, I have a cane that I use for bending, like from my head to my toes. Like my bending is god awful. It's like really bad. So sometimes having the cane just helps me get down to get what I need to get, especially like if I'm going out anywhere. I take it shopping with me so I can like use it to get down to like ground level to look at what I'm trying to see and then get my butt back up, because if I'm by myself, who's gonna help me? No one. And I have every right to go out shopping. I know a lot of people with the pandemic and everything, they're like, well, if you have illnesses and chronic illness, blah, 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 go home, don't be going out. And it's like, I need to get groceries, I need to do laundry, I need to do different things, you know what I mean? And I have my cane and it helps me, and I get a lot of weird looks sometimes, but it is what it is. Normally, on a mild day, I usually have pins and needles getting up or like tingling at some part of my day. It's usually just, you know, rough in the morning. My mornings are awful normally because I'm like running in and out on the bathroom. I'm trying to get my medical marijuana into me so I can stop using the bathroom a million times, because it really does help with that. And it's just, it's hard. It's been getting kind of better since I started my one headache medicine, but like it's still kind of difficult, my, you know, mornings. But I try to just do everything as like a normal person would, obviously, as like normal as possible, while trying to like do normal things, as my body is just like jumping hoops and doesn't want to just go in a straight line and do what it's supposed to do. And it's so annoying sometimes, but I have like learned to really like deal with it. I was gonna say too, if I have a moment, I'll look back on my vlog channel. If you're not a part of that, if you look down below, there's a link. But if you really like search back on there, there's a lot of videos of me like having a flare, like me just filming when it's happening, being like, I don't know what's happening, but like before I was even diagnosed. Like that's a lot of like video too of me like leading up to my illness and like things I went through with it. I'm so happy I recorded it, kind of like a journal that people can look back on and see and be like, oh my god, if I'm like having those feelings or like symptoms, you should definitely go to your doctor, talk, you know, push for more tests to be done to figure out what you have. But yeah, it's kind of cool that I have that to look back on if I want to. So I have like once, and it's kind of upsetting to watch when I'm like sobbing and like freaking out, but now like knowing too in a way, like it's comforting. I'm like, well, I know like what this all is now. It's not just confusing and like some crazy weird illness. I guess now that leads us to a bad day. So a bad day for me would include normally not being able to get out of bed, pins and needles to the point where like my legs are like asleep, or like because I was laying on one side of my body because I'm like a side sleeper, or I'm like cuddling with my significant other, so like that whole part of my body's just numbed out, feels like crap, and it's very hard for me to get out of bed. Sometimes I'll be like nauseous and a flare could be coming on and I could be getting sick, and that's like a key time too for me to be like losing weight because of like being sick out of both ends and just not being able to control it. Normally, if I have my medical marijuana, I can try to like stop in its tracks, but sometimes it's so bad, like it'll kind of like make it not feel as bad for a little bit, but once it wears off, it's like, yep, it feels like I have the flu. I'm like so insanely sick. It sucks. Also with like being nauseous, like it's really hard to eat without like taking medical marijuana as well, to make my appetite like hungry and be like, oh okay, like I'm kind of hungry now, even though like the pain is like unbearable because my whole body is just like filled during my flare days with inflammation, and it just feels like kind of like I got in a car accident. When people ask me, I'm like, it feels like I got in a car accident, like a wreck, and like I'm usually on my cane a lot. It's weird because too, like one part of my body will go out, like especially if I'm out somewhere for a while shopping or something. So like I'll use my cane obviously on this side because this leg is out. But when both my legs are out and my arms feel weak and numb, it's like jello. Like I'm gonna stay home. Like I don't go and do what I need to do normally on flare days because it's physically impossible. Obviously I'm tired when this is happening and it's pain all over body. Even sometimes like I'll have really bad head nerve pain where like it hurts to brush my hair. So I'll just like put my hair up in some kind of any old way, but I'm also losing my hair from my one bladder medication, which sucks. It's coming in like thinning, and if anybody knows a good wig company, please comment down below and let me know, because I always like valued my hair as something that I like loved, and I was like trying to keep it really pretty. But once you get sick, like you kind of just, it's hard to like when you're trying to like keep up with yourself and things keep like sabotaging it. It's so frustrating and it makes you just like want to give up and not do it. But sometimes you just have to like go to bed or just chill out and wake up the next day and try again. But eventually, probably in a couple weeks or maybe even next week, who knows how me sporadically filming is, but I'll make a chronic like illness video, kind of like how to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. Like how do you physically deal with something like that? Because I know for me, I get overwhelmed a lot with it. I don't have a lot of friends because of it. I feel like it kind of like throws people off, it like freaks them out. And yeah, people who I am friends with either have like illnesses of their own, I feel like, or like go through some sort of thing kind of that they like understand. Honestly, now thinking about like a lot of people I know, they do, except like one of my friends from like childhood. But I feel like everybody has some kind of form of anxiety or depression at some point or another, even if you're not like chronically ill. But I just know with like my disease and my chronic illnesses and autoimmune diseases and stuff that I have, I just try to keep myself as safe as possible, especially with the world we are living in right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you back here tomorrow for my next. And if you haven't already, check out Gabby Vlogs for my vlog channel. Bye guys.